Hi, I'm Mike from KVgear. I want to show you how to assemble the Volca Eurorack Mounting Kit. So here we go. This is the product you'll get in the mail. It's all here in this bag, and I'll show you how to put it together. We have a steel frame, 4 plastic brackets, plus 4 screws and 4 nuts. This steel frame that's powder coated is completely symmetric. You can put it together in any way. It's all the same. So what you need to do is, first thing to do is to install the nuts into the plastic brackets. There's a hexagonal pocket in the bottom side of this bracket. You drop the hex nut in there, push it into place, hold it with your finger because it's going to pop out. Then you support it from underneath and you drive a single screw into that hole. You'll have to use a hex wrench or Allen key, whichever term you prefer, same tool. And you do that 4 times over. This bracket happens to have a nut already sitting in it. So I'll just keep going. It's important to only thread this screw in a couple of partial turns. You want these brackets to be nice and loose because that's going to aid in assembly. Again, here's another shot of the hex nut going into the hex pocket. For those of you who are witch sensitive, I am not casting a spell on you. Back to the hex. Pun intended. Okay, just about done. Screws going in, just a couple of partial turns, and now we're in. Nope, we're not in, almost. Key here is holding the nut in place from underneath. So this is the arrangement. The brackets are underneath the frame, the screws are in there loosely, and here's what we have. Next thing to do is to take the Volca on the table, put the frame in over the top of it. Volcas will vary in their outer body size by just a tiny bit from Volca to Volca. So I went through our collection and picked the Volca that was the largest of ours. So this one's gonna have a bit of a tight fit. I just wanted to show you the tightest fit. So you have to kind of push it over the top. And now you can see the Volca is captured top and bottom in the bracket, and the frame sits a little bit below. The last thing to do is to tighten each of these screws. Do a partial tighten on all 4 corners first. Then the last thing after they're partially tight will be to do a final tighten. Okay, now they're all somewhat snug, so now I'm going to tighten them all up for good. I like to do the old method you use with lug nuts on a car by alternating corners. Get in there. Okay, so that is done. Again, to review, you've got the bracket of the flange of the plastic bracket sitting on the bottom, screw heads pushing through the top, and that is your Volca, ready to be mounted in your Eurorack mounting kit. One caveat to this is this will fit well into a Eurorack that has very narrow rails. I'm talking about the rails that run lengthwise that have all the screw sockets in them. This will not fit if you have thick rails, but there is a solution. The solution is to move the Volca upwards towards you, because this Volca is actually tapered. The body is tapered, so it's not as wide down here as it is up here. So if you have thick rails on your Eurorack, you want to move the Volca upwards. So I'm going to show you how to do that. It just basically involves putting this together upside down. So let's do a quick disassembly and reassembly into the alternate position. Just feeling for when the screw stops sticking through the nut. Okay, so again, what we're doing is we're showing how to mount this if you have wide Eurorack rails. So basically, you just want to flip this upside down so the Volca sits somewhat outside of your case. So there we go. Just gonna flip it upside down, tighten everything, and we'll be done. So let's see how this looks. Again, keeping it not too snug yet. I don't want to go fully tight until everybody's in position. Okay, now we can tighten all 4 corners. No need to go too tight. You're just trying to hold these little tiny screws in place. Don't want to put a lot of effort into it, a lot of strength to it. So there we go. Now you'll have your Volca sitting somewhat outward from your case, and then you have barely any part of the Volca that needs to fit into your Eurorack. So 2 methods for installing a Volca into a Eurorack mounting kit. Hope this works for you. Have fun making music.